Alright, tomorrow we will be taking part in another tournament in Bad Oldesloe of the Interessengemeinschaft Boat Action North Coast, I will call them. And I will be taking part with my Soviet army, which I just finished this morning. And
As usual, just in time.
Yeah, it's no turning when you're not done to the last second. Yeah. At first, I have to say we are doing 1,250 point lists. Up to 2 platoons are possible, either armored platoons or infantry platoons. I decided for the theater selector of the Silo Heights, so I use 2 infantry platoons. The special abilities for the Silo Heights selector is that I can use 2 tank slots per infantry platoon. So I got a little bit of armored support, as you can see. I will talk you through the different platoons in detail. Okay. At first, every platoon has a junior lieutenant inexperienced with a body, like real Russians already getting drunk. And every platoon has to take the basic infantry squads, which in this case are Strafbattalion or penal battalions for the Russians, which you can see back here. 4 5-man squads, inexperienced shirkers for 20 points, so I get 20 men for 80 points.
Just a little bit more meat on the table.
Yeah, and their basic function in the list should be that they will come from behind and hold objectives, take buildings in positions where I need them to block the enemy. That's their basic task, and I think they will just do that.
Get down on the first chance and not die instantly.
Yeah. Then I also got the 12-man free rifle squad, which can be seen here with the guy holding his Molotov cocktail. They got the basic outfit for the free Russian squad. Everyone is rifled, they are green, and they also got the anti-tank grenades. That's why he's holding his Molotov cocktail. The free rifle squad, something like a versatile unit if it checks their moral test. Otherwise they can really become unreliable, I will call it. When you really need them to fulfill a task, most of the time they fail their moral checks and they're going down.
I think that's not a unit where you should actually place your battle plan around.
No, absolutely not.
It's free, and that's the best way.
Yeah, that's the best. Then, as support units on the infantry and artillery side, in 1 platoon I got the ZIS-3 multifunctional gun, which is a medium anti-tank gun in the first place, and can also be used as a light howitzer in the second place. No spotter, just basic ZIS-3, and it's regular. The next 2 choices in the other platoon are a medium mortar, inexperienced without spotter, and a heavy mortar, also inexperienced without a spotter.
Why do you take them without spotters?
I had to fit in the modern teams to fulfill the point requirement.
I think we will do a video about all those discussions. Can you buy a spotter for an inexperienced mortar team? Yes, you can, but you can't use it. Is it useful? It could be, but 100% not on this list, and I think the reason why we can see next.
Everything an inexperienced spotter could do for me can be done by other units, which I will be talking about very shortly. So these 2 support units are inexperienced. Then in 1 platoon but shown here on either side is one of the most versatile units I have in my list. It's the 60 points regular anti-air gas truck, which has 4 MMGs, but only 4 shots each, but it's 16 shots for 60 points. And it also has the flat rule. I think we have many US players tomorrow.
Yeah,
which can be useful.
For one, I know that he loves his double air observer, and that can be quite annoying. Although I'm already looking forward to air striking with his own planes.
Yeah, that would be the absolute best thing that can happen.
Yeah, like in this one game where he was double struck with his own air observer, killing 2 of his units, basically. So I got his air observer for free. Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, I hope to play against him. So, and one unit for the Big Bang against infantry, and also a good anti-tank asset is the 290 point regular ISU 152.
Whoever calculated the points on that thing, because I think that's slightly OP for the points.
Yeah, I think tanks in bolt action are the main thing I really don't like, because the points...
We'll see later on why, or that I fully support your opinion on that, because I don't field a single tank anytime.
Yeah. But for 290 points, the ISU is
really
useful.
It's really good.
When it hits.
When it hits, but then it usually annihilates any squad that comes in between, if it's not destroyed before. Because I think it's a real bullet magnet.
Yeah, but that's also one of the good assets of the ISU, because everyone thinks he has to destroy it, because it can do real damage, which in most cases it doesn't.
Yeah, I think that's like when it has one shot, and that's the usual thing. When this thing shoots, you're just going down and hoping for the best, and if you're hit, well, half of your squad dies, and that's just it. And you get like a bazillion pins, and then next round you rally, but then you're done with it for the round.
Yeah, absolutely. The slow load, is it slow load? I think it is.
Which is super funny, because the 152mm shell loads slower than the 380mm shell of a Sturmtiger.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
makes
that
sense.
one doesn't have slow load.
Makes
it can shoot
makes sense. Like every tank in bolt action. Nice. Slow load. What does slow load mean? I can't activate the ISU with the first dice out of the bag.
Oh my god.
So it will be with the second, or whenever I need it.
The worst rule ever.
No, I think unreliable for vehicles is the worst rule ever. But
unreliable is just not thought through, completely crap rule. I have no idea who ever thought of that, but yeah.
Hello, Alessio.
You might want to change something there.
Yeah. Okay, and the backbone of my army, which I have 3 units in each platoon, are the 5-man veteran scout squads, forward deployment. Units, which basically means I can, in the right mission, I can set them up at the half table line, and they are all armed with SMGs. They can really stand their own against infantry, hard to kill, especially when in cover, and just because they start basically at the half line, they are really directly in the face of the opponent, and that's what I try to do with them, stuff them down the throat of my opponent, and I hope it will work out that way tomorrow.
I think your biggest advantage there is that like 90% of the people don't know how to handle more than one squad starting at the center line, and they deploy on their forward edge of their deployment area, and then it's just 12-inch in between, and then you just do an advance, shoot them with your SMGs, and then the first squads start piling up. And I think that doesn't help many players much. So I think they're really strong, but they're strong because people don't know how to handle them. Because otherwise, 5-man squads are really fragile and they're quite expensive. So it really requires a lot of skill to play them to the fullest.
Yeah, most of the time I think the annoying thing is that they are right in the first turn at your at the 30-inch line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and can shoot effectively, basically in the starting area of the enemy, or with the run. They when they are positioned correctly, or there's a way to assault in the first round, it's also a possibility. So
you can just get rid of all those pesky observers, snipers, and so on in the first round, and that's really, really handy.
Yeah, and that's the only thing the inexperienced spotter could do: deny, a possible zone where I can put down my scouts.
And that is actually something I wanted to talk in a different video, but I think we are going through that right now. Buying spotters for inexperienced mortars can actually be a great thing, because when you play against this list, for example, you would place your mortar first and then your spotter right where you don't want the enemy to position their units, and then you have like a 24-inch bubble where he can't place his stuff. Yeah. And then you hugely hinder him in his effectiveness when he plays a lot of scouts, either Chinese, Japanese, or Russians in this case. This is really useful, but you have to be aware of your opponent for that.
One of the real useful usages of the scouts is also when you have missions where you can outflank. When you have sensitive targets in the enemy lines, you can bring them on from one of the flanks, and really shoot up the enemy to make a breakthrough on that flank. So scouts, fragile in 5-man squads, but very versatile by forward deployment and good ability to flank them.
And they have huge firepower for 5-man squads. Yeah. They're actually really good. Yeah,
absolutely. The only thing modeling-wise I will suggest at this point is 2 of my 5-man scout squads are modeled up as Black Death Marine infantry, naval infantry of the Soviets, but I play them as scouts just for a variety.
I think that's quite of a current political issue, naval infantry scouting somewhere where they are not supposed to go. I think the Russians are doing that right now in Ukraine, so that's what happened on the Crimea, so basically you're reenacting that.
Modern war reenactment in bold action, nice.
Nice realism in bold action, nice.
You said realism and bold action in the same sentence.
Yeah, this is probably the only sentence where this would work.
Nice. Yeah. Okay, that's it from my Soviet army tomorrow.
And we're going to deliver you some really nice close-ups, because this army actually looks great. Christian did a great job in painting them, even again last minute. So we'll give you a quick look right through the model. Next list.
All right.
Also for that tournament, I prepared my list, which is basically a very good counterpart to Christian's list, because what I am playing is the extended last levy selector from the Road to Berlin book. I also got 18 dice, I think. I should have brought my list here. Doesn't matter. I got a lot of dice, actually fairly well suited. 2 platoons from Road to Berlin. Extended last levy, not the other 2 last levy lists. There are actually right now 3 last levy lists, and they're all crap, except for this one. This one is actually fairly good, although it doesn't have those fancy new weapons like the Luftfaust or Krummlauf and something. So we're going with that. When we're playing that list, what do we actually want to do with it? Well, you have the big advantage that you have 2 artillery slots, but you can't really take artillery, but you can take multiple launchers and basically any kind of anti-tank gun.
Which is artillery.
Yeah, triple artillery, yeah. But you can't take like a 10.5 howitzer or something like that, which would be actually really cool, because on 2 platoons, 4 howitzers, that would be crazy. Yeah, but it doesn't work. So, and you have a lot of other problems in that list. You can only have one Heer Grenadier veteran squad per selector, and you can only have one Waffen-SS squad per selector. You can't have Fallschirmjäger, you can't have anything else that's nice. Oh, you can have Pioneers, but I think they replace your Heer Grenadiers, I think. But you really can't have too much veterans in that list, which makes sense because they're at this point already all dead. So what do we have to go for? Basically the standard is that you need 2 officers for 2 platoons. So we have a regular lieutenant here, a second lieutenant with an assistant. Fancy thing is both get their assault rifles for free. That's what you usually take as a German. Yeah. And here we have a first lieutenant and Oberleutnant, also regular with an assistant. And he's quite I took him because on the one hand side, all my artillery is inexperienced, and he has a snap to action with +3 dice, and maybe you see 3 units here that might want to be activated in the same turn.
Perhaps.
Maybe if you kind of want to launch the nukes on one target, that's your unit to go with.
It's the SAV replacement for the 105.
Yeah, that's poor compensation. Yeah. What else do we have? We need our standard units, and in this extended last levy, they can only be Volkssturm, Kriegsmarine, and Hitlerjugend. I think Kriegsmarine is completely pointless as a unit. So what I did was I got 1 assault squad of Volkssturm, which is 5 inexperienced with 3 submachine guns. They're only 44 points, and they're really good for counterattacks on small scale. Don't expect too much from them, but they're quite okay. Then I got 2 units here and here, just 5 Volkssturm with rifles, and they're just as your Strafbats. They're just sitting somewhere generating an order dice, and you have to kill them when they're in hard cover going down. They're actually pretty strong and resilient. And my personal favorite unit of all this army is here, 6 Hitler Youth with 5 Panzerfaust and 1 SMG. And this is basically the unit that always kills a tank, because you just shoot 5 Panzerfaust at point blank at it, and it's gone.
Yeah, and when there's no tank, it kills 5 veterans.
Yeah, also it's really good to shoot at veterans with that.
Scouts, perhaps.
Scouts, but Scouts don't have body armor. That would be annoying. Normally I shoot on Soviet engineers with body armor, because otherwise they simply don't die, and with Panzerfaust they die on 2+. So that's
anti-armor.
Anti-armor. If it's a guy in armor, it's also anti-armor, yeah. What else do I have? Let's start with an artillery part, because my 3 multiple rocket launchers are basically one of the damage dealers in my army. I don't have mortars, as you can see, and the plan for those is to force my opponent to spread out. And if he doesn't, I can snap to action with my first lieutenant and nuke one target really, really bad. And don't miss any more turns to do so. So those 3 units, 2 Holding Cows, 1 Nebelwerfer, are inexperienced, and I'm doing fairly well with them. So don't expect too much from them, but on the other hand side, they're not even 150 points. So whatever, if they don't do anything, doesn't matter.
Any suggestions right now for someone who has to face 3 multiple rocket launchers, how to deal with them, other than just spreading out the units?
Well, spreading out is always one thing, and the other thing is proximity gives security. So when you're standing close to one of my units, I can't shoot at you. So that's something you want to do. And snipers are extremely good against inexperienced gun teams, because at the Holding Cows you shoot 1, and I have to do a morale check on a 6. So basically you can take out a gun every turn. So that's fairly easy. I wouldn't even bother shooting with a mortar on it or something like that. Just some long-range LMG from a truck or something like that, because they need line of sight. They will probably be deployed somewhere in the open. You can get rid of them really fast, but don't completely panic against them. Yeah. Pinning is good, and small caliber fire is also pretty fun.
Yeah. You also saved the mortar shots for infantry and...
that would be actually the next good point. The mortar would be something I would save up for this one, because this is my Pak 36, so a light anti-tank gun. The point here is it's veteran with a gun shield. That means it dies only on a 6 from shots for the front. And it has a Stielgranate, which means it has, on a range of 24 inches, it has anti-tank 6, which is really good. And it's only 75 points the way it stands here, and it's really small. You can place it everywhere. It's not like you're placing a huge 88 somewhere and everyone's shooting at it. This is probably the perfect target for a mortar. If I got a mortar, I would shoot it on units like that.
Yeah. Like in my Soviet list, this 3 medium anti-tank, very versatile through the light howitzer, also perfect mortar target.
Same thing. If I would play your list and got the points, I would probably play this as a veteran, because I think units with gun shield hugely profit when they're veteran. I think that's their biggest advantage. Other units, I need some stable fire support with those. This means here I got 6 Waffen-SS with 2 LMGs, 1 Panzerfaust. Just the way they're standing there, they're supposed to shoot at units on the distance, like units I don't want to close in on, engineers, scouts, anything that has a lot of firepower on short distance, and I don't want to risk going too close with my close combat units. Those are the guys for that. Then I got actually something that's very specific to this selector, a Panzervernichtungstrupp, or how is it called in the book? Panzerzerstörtruppen, which is not even a German word.
No.
That's not what you're saying. They're extremely expensive. These 7 guys cost 177 points, but they're really good. They all got SMGs, all got anti-tank grenades, and they have 2 Panzerschrecks in how I play them. You can deal with infantry, you can deal with anti-tank, with armor, anything, and it actually is better than the Panzerfaust squads I usually run, because I have more than 12-inch range, and that's useful, at least.
Yeah. They are veteran, right?
Yeah, they're veteran.
So then with all the SMGs, they can really hold their own, even in close combat situations.
They're really versatile. You can basically give them every task, but as I'm quite short on anti-tank, that's basically what they're doing in my list. They're doing the anti-tank part.
Yeah. And it's also, I think they are a little bit of a bullet magnet, because everyone thinks, 2 Panzerschrecks in the list, and they are really hard to beat, and they can really harm my tanks or vehicles, and I think everyone tries to shoot them, and that gives you, I think, the possibility to move your other squads around.
You see, that's quite the point with units you don't often play against, or that are very specific. You see this unit and you don't actually know what it does and how it performs on the battlefield. You just see the paper stats, and then you're going crazy and say, oh my god, I gotta get rid of that, and they have 2 Panzerschrecks, and they have all SMGs, and they have AT grenades, which are completely pointless, but okay. Yeah. And then you go crazy for them. And then you ignore the rest of the damage dealers that you shouldn't underestimate in this list, that are a Waffen-SS squad from the 2nd platoon here, 4 SMGs, 3 Panzerfausts. That's a lot of firepower on short distance, and they can really hurt the opponent. Normally I play them, I drive up with a truck, they get out, they destroy a tank, and the rest shoots at the infantry close by, and next turn they assault something. That's basically how I play them, and that works quite well. Also, because they're just 6 people and they just got 4 SMGs, they're not super expensive. I think the unit is about 110, 120 points roughly, so that's not too bad. Okay. Yeah.
And I also think what this unit does with all the other units you got is that everyone focuses on this unit, but all your squads are loaded with anti-tank weapons like Panzerfaust. Yeah. Everyone can stand their own, and most of the people forget about it, that every squad can harm their tanks and vehicles. So
that's quite the point when you're playing Germans. Every unit you have is probably equipped against tanks and can do their damage on their own, or at least get the enemy tanks away from them. And you should really utilize that. That's quite useful when you're playing Germans. What it also does is, when this unit draws fire, the rest of the close combat units get where they want to go. Yeah. And normally they're walking on foot, because these guys in a truck are an even worse bullet magnet. Yeah. Speaking of trucks, I got 2 trucks. Actually, none of them is a truck from the model, but they will be handled as a truck. The Opel Maultier. I couldn't play as a truck, so as a Maultier, so it's a truck with an MMG regular, and the bus of the Berliner Verkehrsgesellschaft is also a truck, because obviously it's made for public transport, so people are going there, and also it's quite cool when the Hitler Youth goes on the battlefield with their school bus, so that also kind of makes sense. It's also regular MMG. And they're carrying the other hard hitter here, a Pioneer squad with a flamethrower, and I think they got 4 SMGs. Only the loader of the flamethrower doesn't have an SMG, and they're another unit that needs to get close, and then it can really punch a hole in the defense. And that's kind of the way I normally play. I think that's like all my lists look similar to that. I have some units that can catch up with the enemy assaulting me, then I let them run dry on the attack on me, and then I do the counter attack to actually secure my objective. So the first 3 turns are pretty defensive, played with that. The rest is in reserve. You soften up the enemy, then you deal your blow, and you have to strike with all your power into that one gap, destroy everything in that path, and then you can move through. And to exploit those paths, I have one of the other best units of the Germans, the motorcycle with machine gun sidecar. It's an armored car, soft skin, 40 points. It can turn as many times as it wants, and it has recce and an MMG with 6 shots, and I really like him. And everybody probably hates him because
I really hate them.
You know, for that model, they dug up one early war motorcycle that was probably somewhere in a depot or something like that. Yeah. And the other one was repossessed from the Reichspost, so the mailman. And when the defense of Berlin-Spandau started, they decided, okay, we probably need that one back, give it back to us, and then they started riding around with it. And
I heard it's already the same right now in Berlin. That
yeah.
The mailman has to be armed with MMGs.
Same with the buses there. You better come armed to Berlin.
Yeah.
Berlin is going down. Okay, yeah, that's my army. I did a couple of test games with it. It fared fairly well, but I also know that it's not the best list when you play against someone who knows how to handle those secret assets. So basically, those 4 units, if someone knows how to deal with them, you lose a lot of teeth on this list. Yeah, and as usual, some close-ups. Guys, we are reporting live from the Bolt Action Interessengemeinschaft Küste, North Coast, from the first tournament, and I think we're playing 3 games today. Just got our first pairings, and let's see what comes out of those.
Yeah. Back to Hamburg.
Sorry, we forgot about intermediate reports. It was too busy.
Yeah, I was totally flashed by the coffee.
Whenever you're going to that tournament, make sure that you water down your coffee at least 2-to-1 or something like that.
Or dilute it with Coke.
Yeah, no. Bring some weed that you can get off that trip, because when you wanted to move the models and you're trembling like crazy, that's not the coolest thing to happen.
Yeah. What was good for mixing the dice?
It was good for mixing the dice. The shaking came automatically.
Yeah. So, how did your games go?
Well, I didn't have too big ambitions there, because my first goal was getting best painted, and I got best painted.
He got best painted.
So I was fine with that. The first game for me was against British. Mixed force, a Sherman, an AEC Mark II, a huge troop of Chindits, and he had some nasty little toys all over the place.
Right.
But I was very lucky that the forward observer bombardment didn't happen, so that was easy for me.
Didn't happen.
He brought him in
at
from
all, or?
He wanted to bring him in from reserve, and he failed his order check 2 times, and then he came somewhere in turn 5 or something.
Oh, all right.
And then he came in turn 4, wanted to shoot in turn 5, and in turn 5 it was delayed, and we had no 7th turn, so that was that. My flanking charges worked fairly well. However, my SS and my Volkssturm fucked up really bad on the one flank, because they came in and shot 3 Panzerfausts point blank at the Sherman, hit nothing, were mobbed up from 5 commandos who beat them up entirely. Yeah, that was crap. On the other hand side, the other flank was completely cleared by Volkssturm. The Volkssturm shot down the Chindits to 5 guys, I think. So that was amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, and it ended 15-5. Strong victory for me, but not like massacre level. So I think that was fair.
Right.
Your first game?
My first game was against US list. We had some basic stuff. I think it was 14 dice, 2 veteran power squads, one ranger squad, 2 inexperienced junior lieutenants,
Yeah, okay. Classics.
medium mortar, an M3 Stewart, I think, with the
Brazilian machine guns.
Brazilian machine guns. Yeah, the US standard right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like that, but
M16 GMC.
yeah, that one is cool.
Yeah. He also had an air observer.
Okay.
And we had to play top secret, where everything comes from reserve.
Oh yeah.
His air observer came on the table in the first turn.
Yeah.
Then repositioned in the second, and got shot in the third.
Nice.
Without even doing his stuff. But it was a very close game, and we only drew.
You only did a draw, okay?
Yeah, I did a draw because I got the objective, and so it was 11-9 for me.
Nice.
Yeah, little draw.
Yeah, but I think that's fine if you win because of the objective. I think something that was new was that we had Swiss system.
Swiss system, yeah.
That was really nice because we were then paired against people who fared similar. My next game was against the German army with an 88, Panzer IV, a truck with 2 squads of pioneers loaded out to somewhere with a flamer, 2 SMGs and an LMG. Both squads, 4 squads of grenadiers with, 3 squads of grenadiers with LMG, 2 Panzerfausts, an SMG or an assault rifle or whatever.
Veteran or regular?
Regular.
Right.
But also mortar, sniper, another flamethrower in a Kübelwagen, and there was the horse-drawn limber for the 88, and it was a pain in the ass because I played them top secret, and I couldn't do anything because in the first turns because I failed to hit anything. I did the first kill in turn 4 by standing closer to his Kübelwagen than his own troops. That was with 3 multi-launchers.
Yeah,
that was
nice.
Crazy. But then I got mobbed up in the middle really bad. My pioneers and my Hitler Youth died a horrible death. Same with Volkssturm and SS. So all my storm squads died immediately. But because of that, he was so mobbed close together that I did a snap to action with all my artillery and nuked all of his troops.
The big.
Only the Panzer
multi-launcher.
Yeah, only the Panzer
model.
IV could escape, and when that one drove to attack my Panzervernichtungstrupp, I said, okay, let's try it first. First shooting, both Panzerschrecks missed. Next turn shooting, both hit, destroyed. What did you expect? And then the best part is his pioneers armies, instead of just flaming those, charged them, 7 tough fighters, and got beaten up so bad. So more points.
And you had a real big pile of vehicles staying on each other.
Yeah, after I destroyed his truck, his tank drove over his truck and was destroyed on his truck.
It was really just a big pile of vehicles, cars.
That
whatever.
was amazing.
Yeah.
It wasn't so fun in the beginning, but it turned out to be really cool. It was what happened was exactly not my plan, but what can you do, right? So you have to improvise, and if you're not able to kill anything for 4 turns, you have to do the big nuke in turn 5. That's what you can do.
Yeah.
And I got the objective because he simply ignored it all the time. And I just went up with 5 Volkssturm guys that picked the objective, next turn snapped to action, handed it over to the first lieutenant, he ran off the field.
Yeah, nice.
So done, 375 points.
That's how I got my objective in the first game. Got it with scouts, ran back, handed it over to another group of scouts, and they
That's the trick.
That's
the trick.
Yeah, my second game was against Mirko, one of our friends, and also a member of the 040 Wargaming crew.
You'll see him on the channel really soon.
Yeah. After I played him in our FLGS a few weeks ago with basically the same list I took to the tournament, he knew what was coming.
He again didn't see it coming when it happened.
Yeah. The first 2 turns were done in 25 minutes because most of our units just went down. It was really down.
Nice.
No one wanted to shoot, and after that, I just steamrolled him. So I got a win, 18-2. He hasn't got much left at the end. Big victory for me, and I finished after that. I had, I think, 29 points. 29, 18,
and as I did 15-5 because I got the objective and still managed to kill half of his expensive units later on. I got a 15-5, so I got 30 points at that point. So guess who played against who?
Yeah,
Yay.
I think it's the first game we had to play
in a tournament
against each other on a tournament. Yeah,
but it was fun.
Yeah,
you know,
and it really was. It was the top table, and we played like the top table.
Winter Russians against urban Volkssturm on a desert table.
On a desert table in demolition.
In demolition, both the most expensive units were dead after
the first 10 dice.
Yeah, I think it were even the first 5 dice or something like that.
Yeah.
And at the not even the end of turn 2, we had 8 dead units already. We nuked us so bad, and in the I think we both managed somehow to get the objectives.
But we really took off our gloves.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, from 37 dice that entered the table, 27 died. So, I mean, you can do that, but probably you shouldn't play like that. But it was fun.
It was real fun. You see my list. The only things I got left. 3 dice, which were 7 infantry models and 1 gun model, and 4 of the infantry models was the crew of this 3.
Yeah.
So
I got quite a lot of things alive, but unfortunately my people died a heroic death defending my objective, and then I couldn't hold it because there were too many small units swarming it then. But there were super funny moments in that. I mean, it started off his your Izu shot my holding cow. It went down, so I couldn't do really multiple launcher fire on the first turn.
Yeah.
But in turn, my Panzervernichtungstrupp just went up and shot the Izu, moved long range with his Panzerschrecks, and they were charged by 5 scouts.
5 scouts
who beat
won
them to death completely. 5 scouts charged 7 tough fighters and won.
Over 500 points of worth of units were gone in 2 minutes. And after 3 dice. So of 2,500 points, basically
20% of the army were dead. And another cool thing was when your scouts finally came from outflanking and wanted to grab my objective, they just ran behind hard cover, but I had a squad with 2 LMGs on the rooftop, and they shot dead 5 scouts, veteran in hard cover. They were all simply dead. Not even ran away or something, but all dead.
I will reenact my 2,000 yard stare.
Yeah, it's like.
At first I hadn't realized how good your shooting was. I was just wondering why you were laughing.
And then I saw that
4 6s and 1 5, 2 wound, and then I got the stare.
Yeah, then it was done. But also the funny thing is, I for fuck's sake, I didn't manage to destroy those freaking AA truck with a light anti-tank gun and a motorcycle, and it had 5 pins in the end. And what I had to do when it had 5 pins, I had to rush in the Hitler Youth and shoot it with 5 Panzerfaust. That is nearly half of the cost of the whole model. But then
they did good.
They destroyed 2 units in that turn, because the squad leader with his SMG, inexperienced, shot at the last survivor of a Shirka troop, and then 2 guys were out. So that was
in the next round they killed 4 Shirkers for 20 points. Yay!
Yeah, I didn't think that one through. I thought, okay, just assault them, and then they killed 4 of my Hitler Youth, and I was, wait, that was the Hitler Youth destroyed them, but that was a super bad deal. So yeah,
20 points for 35 or 38. Yeah,
but doesn't matter anyway. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the results for the tournament were pretty fair for us.
Pretty fair. You got 42 points in the end. Yeah. I got 37, 38. No,
somewhere 38. It should
38,
be, because 39 was. And now we come to the results. So the second place was 39 points. You were just shy of it, third, and I won the tournament. Nice.
I got third. Everything's fine.
Yeah, I think that's also the other guy of our club, Mirko, finished last. So, but I think we're still the best club there. So.
Yeah, definitely. The prize support was really good, amazing.
It was the first time that you really had to stand there and think, what do you want to have?
Yeah.
There are so many amazing things, and I was even lucky I could do a double pick because of Best Painted, and I still thought there were still at least 3 things I want to have.
Yeah, in the end there were still gift vouchers from Die Waffenkammer.
Yeah.
So I think Jeff sponsored 4 of them.
Really
just
cool,
amazing.
Really cool.
Which is worth $100 Canadian altogether.
Yeah.
Warlord did some gift vouchers.
Yeah.
And they also sponsored together with our FLGS, the tabletop shop by Fantasy Welt. Nice.
Cool.
Hey!
We trained them.
Like practice, yeah. They sponsored some models, M10, BA6. You got the Gebirgsjäger.
Yeah, I actually didn't want to get more German infantry, but the Gebirgsjäger were actually on my to-buy list, so I wanted to buy them when I'm done with everything, but I will never be done, so I can just get them right now.
No one took the one of the 3 planes Revell sponsored, which was, I think, basically worth 120 euros.
They were extremely expensive, but I think we all had enough of the plastic crack. I wanted to have 2 of those, but then you look at the box and it says 220 parts or something like that. So, no. Not right now.
Just to make a terrain piece.
Just to make a terrain piece while you're still having like 60 Chinese infantry models to assemble from Japanese. So no.
Yeah. All in all, very good day. We both had a lot of fun. We are now back in Hamburg.
It was an amazing tournament.
Thank you from this point to Sven and Martin.
Yeah, who organized it. It was amazing.
Yeah. And Sven, next time, water down the coffee a little bit. Make it more like an Americano.
At least a bit, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. See
you
you
soon, right? For our first battle report, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.